What's going on, YouTube? This is SG1 Sports, and you're watching our college football channel. We continue with our 2023 predictions. The Colorado Buffaloes are up next. Let's take a look at what everyone's thinking about this team. And I was surprised at some of these numbers being as low as they are. The FPI has them at 2.6 and 9.4. So 2-10 or 3-9. That's kind of where they've got them. Athlon has them at 4-8, a little bit higher. The over/under is at 3.5. Again, this is a team that went 1-11 last year, but it's a totally different team. I mean, this is a totally different team. New coaching staff, obviously, and a ton of new players. It's hard to really know what to expect from this team. They've got talent. I look at the roster, and I believe that they have upgraded in terms of talent. Depth might be an issue. You look at some of the players they've added, really not that great. And so I think some of their backups will get exposed a little bit just looking at the roster. I think this team will have a lot of speed, a lot of athleticism, maybe not the size that you'd want to have against some of the bigger, more physical teams, but it's going to be a team that's fun to watch, obviously. And I was surprised. I would continue to be surprised by comments on videos anytime there's anything about Colorado. It seems like there are a lot of people out there that think this team is going to be like really good, like easily a bowl team. And you got some people thinking that this is a team that's going to go 10-2 or 11-1. I mean, that's just crazy in my opinion. And I know that you get the comparisons. Well, look at what Lincoln Riley did at USC. Well, USC already had a lot of talent. I mean, they didn't play well, and their record wasn't good the year before he got there, but they had talent on the roster, way more talent than Colorado. And they brought in a lot of talent as well, a lot more talent than Deion Sanders has brought into Colorado. So if you're trying to compare this team to USC and what Lincoln Riley did there in his first year, that's just not a fair comparison. If Colorado's going to win, it's going to take time. And again, this is a team that their year one goal to be a good season is to get to a bowl game. That would be a great season for year one. I think that's going to be pretty tough, though. They've got a tough schedule. I mean, you look at the non-conference. They've got Nebraska, TCU, Colorado State, and we're going to go ahead and give them a loss there to TCU in the opener. I don't think this game will be close. They're playing on the road against a TCU team that went to the playoff last year. And I know they lost a lot of key players, but they have still got a lot of talent on this roster. They've added some guys in the transfer portal. This is a team that I believe is going to be a top 25 team, and I just don't think Colorado competes in this game. I think it's going to be a blowout, honestly. I think TCU wins easily. Then you get Nebraska there on September the 9th at home. I think this is a much more competitive game. I think these teams are fairly even. I think Colorado can compete, and I think they've got a legitimate shot to win this game. Deion Sanders in his first game as the head coach at home, that place is going to be really fired up. It's going to be tough for Nebraska to go in there and win this game, but I think they do. I just think Nebraska still is ahead of Colorado. I think their roster is better, and I think the Cornhuskers pull off a win here in a close game. But I've got Colorado starting 0-2. Then they get Colorado State on September the 16th. That should be a neutral site game, I believe. On my schedule here, I did not make a note of that, but they always play there in Denver, so I'm assuming that's where this game is. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, this is a game where Colorado's just a more talented team. Colorado State has not been great in recent years. I know there was a time when they were one of the better teams in the Mountain West, but this is one where Colorado should win, and I think they'll win fairly easily, at least by a couple of touchdowns. And I think this will be the first win in the Deion Sanders era here at Colorado. They get to 1-2, but then look at the next two games. On the road at Oregon and USC. So Oregon's going to be a tough matchup. Oregon, they've got the speed to match Colorado. They've got the athleticism. They also got a big size advantage. They're going to have the physicality advantage. This one should not be close. Oregon at home wins big. I don't expect this. I mean, I expect a full-on blowout here in this game, honestly. So I think Colorado loses pretty big there. Then you've got USC on September the 30th at home. Maybe they compete a little bit better in this game, playing at home against a USC team that's maybe not going to be quite as physical as Oregon, especially defensively. And so maybe Colorado competes in this game a little bit, but USC just too much firepower. I don't think Colorado's going to be able to keep up. I think USC wins it by at least a couple of touchdowns, and that's going to knock Colorado down to 1-4. before playing Arizona State on the road October the 7th. I've said this many times. Arizona State is a team that added a lot in the transfer portal, and I think people are sleeping on them a little bit. You talk about a team like Colorado adding a lot. Arizona State added a lot as well, and it's a team that was a program that was already ahead of Colorado. You've got this game on the road. I think Arizona State wins this game, so I think Colorado loses their 5th game here. Then they get Stanford on October the 13th at home. I think Stanford actually is going to be the worst team in the Pac-12 this year. I think Colorado has a better team than them. Plus, they're playing at home. This should be a close game. Two of the teams in the bottom of the conference, but Colorado does find a way to get the win here. So I think they beat Stanford. And also after playing Oregon, USC, Arizona State, you start to play really good teams, especially in Oregon and USC, and then you get a game like Stanford, it almost becomes easy. I think those games will make them better. This is a team that, chemistry, everything's got to come together. This is a team that'll play, they'll get better and better as the season goes, unless they have injuries, because again, I talked about the depth earlier. If they have a lot of injuries, it's a team that actually could be terrible at the end of the season, but we're assuming they stay fairly healthy. They get UCLA next on October the 28th on the road. UCLA going to be a good team this year. Just not really seeing Colorado able to hang around in this game. I think UCLA wins by a couple of touchdowns at least. Then you get a big game, a big opportunity at home against Oregon State on November the 4th. The physicality of Oregon State could be a problem for Colorado, but I think Colorado might have an advantage in the speed department, the athleticism. Maybe that makes a difference here in this game. I think they're going to get a big win this year. I think they knock off someone, and I'm just going to say it's Oregon State. They pull off a big upset here over Oregon State, get to 3-6. Then you got 3 more games. Got to win them all to get to a bowl game. They get Arizona next. This should be a good game, high-scoring game, back and forth. Colorado, again, I talked about how I think they're going to improve as the season goes on. They're playing this game at home. I've got Colorado getting this win. I think they get a couple of huge wins here. Oregon State, Arizona back-to-back. But then they have to go back on the road to Washington State. Tough place to play. Pretty even matchup. I don't see a huge advantage for either team here, but I think Washington State home field advantage is going to be the difference here, and they end the bowl hopes of Colorado in this one. So that gets them down to 4-7. Then they close things out with Utah, also on the road. Tough place to play. This is a team that also is going to be really physical at the line of scrimmage. Going to be able to run the football. This team this is not a good matchup for Colorado. I really feel like Utah is going to take care of business in this one. And that's going to put Colorado at 4-8. So you look at their path to get to a bowl game. How do you get there? Well, you win these 4 games that I've got them winning, and then you got to win a game against Nebraska at home, which is doable. I think they could possibly win that game. And then you got to go on the road and beat either Arizona State or Washington State. I don't know if they can do that. Maybe they can. I think it'll be tough, but I just don't see them getting to a bowl game. And again, my prediction is 4-8. Give us your thoughts, your prediction for Colorado down in the comments below.